cricket match on 23rd and 24th April. We'll be having an alumni trial pages talk 2 in May 2022. Well, we had trial pages talk 1 recently in GITAM Hyderabad campus, and it was really a successful one with Subhas Kakarla, who is an alumni of Department of EECE in GITAM Hyderabad campus. Well, also we are planning to have an Visakhapatnam chapter launch event in summer 2022, and then after we'll be having our trademark event, that is the Homecoming 2022, December 2022 into December 2022. And on monthly basis, we are having this alumni global mixture where all the alumni across the globe from GITAM are going to join for a 45-minute session and have a discussion. Okay, so that was all about DoER. Now, without taking you much time, I'd like to introduce to our today's facilitator, Mr. M.N. Gangadhar sir. He is an assistant professor at Department of EECE, GITAM Institute of Technology, Visakhapatnam. Sir has done his bachelor's from Andhra University in Electrical and Communication Engineering. Subsequently, he pursued his master's in signal processing from IIT Guwahati. When I discussed the idea of having a MATLAB workshop with him, he was like really intrigued with this idea and was interested in orchestrating with this event. Thank you, sir, for making this event possible. Ending with this brief description and introduction, let us start with this MATLAB session. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So, good morning, one and all. So recently, GITAM University has purchased license for MATLAB. So hence making available for everyone. Okay. So it is enough to have a GITAM email ID to access the MATLAB. Otherwise, see, earlier days we used to, when I was a student, we used to have cracked versions because it's expensive little. So to purchase the licensed version. So thanks to the management that provides the facility. So to start with, I am planning this session in 2 parts. The first part, we will have some matrix operations. I'll also take you through how to create account and then use the online simulator. Then after first session, you can ask me any questions if you have, and the first session go till 10:50 or 11. Okay, 11 to 11:10 we'll have a break, and then 11:10 to 11:50 we'll have the second session. So even though this is completely technical session, you need not be very much serious about it, because you know, how many of you are attending for the first time or are completely new to MATLAB? Yeah, one thing I want all of you to be is to interactive. So I am not going to talk astrophysics here, not at all. We are only. I am also a good learner as you, because let me be clear with this. I have learned MATLAB 4 times. You may wonder why should you learn MATLAB 4 times? Because I forgot MATLAB 4 times. I did my BTech project using MATLAB. I forgot it. Again, I learned to finish my master's project. I forgot it. When I supposed to teach after coming here, I learned it and I forgot it. Now yesterday, since I have to teach you, I've learned it. I'm not sure whether I forget. I'm sure I'll forget it. And I personally feel it's a good thing, because even when you go to industry, you know, every 6 months new instruction set comes. You cannot say I mastered this. No, 6 months new instruction set, whatever you learned is completely, I won't say it is not useful, but it is not required for the industry. This is a fact. You can ask any of your seniors, or my friends told me who are working in the industry. Okay, as per the programming is concerned, this is how you should approach it. You should this session is not to give you, okay, what are the big command list MATLAB has. You find it in manual. Okay, MATLAB is, for your information, it's not a language. MATLAB is a package. Here you see, if you see C language, I'm sure all of you must be having a little idea about C, where you, in every program, you just include certain files. For example, if you want to perform mathematical operations, you perform math.h, something called header file. Or you want to perform, okay, display or print something, you include file stdio.h. I'm talking in terms of C. I know some of you must be learning C++ and some advanced language as well, but as per I know, that is how a language works, computer language works. You add the required files which are already available, whereas MATLAB, you don't need to do so. All are already included. So this is the major difference, that or easiness to use. You need not to be pro at programming or how compiler works or how the background things are working. No, even I am sure even 9th standard, 10th standard students can learn MATLAB, and you can easily, as per especially the, I guess most of the students are electronics and communication. Every problem, be it keeping circuit problems aside, communication related problems and signal processing related problems, you can easily solve them, and you can nicely view the waveforms, analyze them, interpret them graphically. So that is the benefit with the MATLAB. Okay. So this session, I personally feel to give you a needed inputs to explore more, because in 2 hours it is not possible to finish whole MATLAB manual. It's impossible even within a week also. Even I do that, it's of no use. Okay, so let me start with okay, this is how I'm planning to do, but you are absolutely free to change my plan at any point of time. You feel like asking any questions, you are absolutely fine. I welcome it. Okay, right. So to start with, for your information, even I have created my account, login account, just 10 minutes before this session. So just to open, you can just open your browser and then type it in Google. That I'm just sharing the screen. Okay.
I would request Jay to share the instructions.
Yeah. Share the instructions. Okay. So I'm just I'm just giving you one. First, you will just type MATLAB online. Okay, if someone needs a written explanation, I can give, but it is not as difficult as that. Just going through instructions, just type MATLAB online. I'm not sure how many of you are on laptops. Okay, so if you're on laptop, you can straight away do it along with me. Okay, so if you click on MATLAB online, then okay, you will you'll be directed to something like this. There you can straight away click on this tab, start using MATLAB online. Okay, then here I have already logged in. Otherwise, it will ask you for logging in. Okay. I'm disconnecting my previous session. Okay. Thanks, Jay. So Jay has put all the steps such that you can do it straight away. Okay, so it will ask okay, you can straight away create account it will ask for email ID, and you put your GITAM email ID, and you can simply click on forgot password if you have already used it before, or then it will send a link to your mail ID saying either create an account or reset password, and you can, as if you are creating some Facebook, Twitter account. It is same as this. It is nothing new. Okay, so once you're done with it, then you can straight away open the simulator online. Open the simulator online. Okay. So for my confirmation, how many of you are there? Can you raise your hands? Are you all doing it? Okay, I see it, Varma, but okay, if you are using mobile phone and listening this session, I'm sure you are going to be benefited. No, don't worry, just pay attention. That's it. Okay. So once you are done with it, you will be directed to this simulator, this editor, where you will find okay, new script. Okay, then opening the files, uploading a file. So I'll tell you why all of this. New script means if at all you want to you write a program, new program, and save it with separate name. Okay, there is an option to save that code in a file. You see this? When I click on this, there is something called untitled has come. So you can save it. If you click on save, okay, you can save it in the drive with your name. Okay, any name that of your interest. Or if at all you want to experiment straight away using the command window, you can do that. For example, this is my command window. I'm just closing this editor for a while. Okay, now this is the command window. So here, without actually writing a code or something, you can straight away start using it. For example, I am initializing. Okay, a is equal to 2, enter. That's it. And if I give a is equal to let us say 1 space 2 space 3, this is a row matrix. Okay, here, so I would like to tell you about the matrix. Why are we interested in matrix? Okay, in communication, the information can be best represented using matrix. You take image. Image is a matrix. You all know it. If it is black and white, it is 3. It is a matrix. If it is color, then it is 3 matrices. If it is video, it is matrix series of matrices changing with time. Okay, I'm not plotting the graphs here, but you understand any 2-dimensional information is conveniently taken as matrix, can be conveniently taken as matrix. Not just this, even speech, audio. If audio is to be stored on a computer, then that can also be taken as a matrix. Music, anything can be taken as matrix. So if you have an idea to work with matrices, then you can conveniently learn image processing, video processing, speech processing, and all of it, all the other applications. Okay, now the first half of the session, in fact for the next almost 20 minutes, we will see the basic matrices operation that you might have learned in 9th standard or 10th standard. Okay. And how do you do them in MATLAB editor? And afterwards, how image, video, or speech. I don't give all the operations, at least I will give some introduction of how you can operate the images. I'm sure at the end of the session you will understand at least how the watermark works, or at least this graphics work. These whatever you do in Paint. How many of you use Paint to edit images? Okay, couple of people. How many of you use let us say some audio editing apps, mixing, and maybe elimination of background music, or maybe deleting some regions, let's say cutting an audio, all of it you must be doing, I'm sure, using some software or the other. But in fact, the same thing can be done in MATLAB as well. Okay, so that we will see. We will see little intro of it. Right. So to start with, you should tell me. Only 24 people are there. If everyone are disciplined, we can allow everyone to speak. Okay. If you have any questions, you can put it in chat box. If you feel like speaking, you can raise your hand and we will unmute it. Okay, so matrices, what are the basic operations? Okay, start. First, let me start with the notation. This is for absolute beginners. Okay, no idea about MATLAB for them. Okay, if at all I want to write, let's say a two row, 3 column matrix, 2 by 1 matrix. Okay, like this, 1 space 2 space 3. So next row I will use semicolon, 3 space 4 space 5, and semicolon, 4 space 5 space 6. If I put enter, it will automatically display. If I put the same command and semicolon, it won't display anything. It just stores A. Okay. You can see the list of variables in the workspace left bottom. You see this? A is one variable that I am using, and it is 3 by 3 size. Okay. And there is one variable, maybe you can call it as temporary variable for the answer. Okay. Every time it displays, it is taken as answer. Okay. So this is answer. Okay. If I say, let's say 3, enter. Answer is 3. Like this. Okay. So what and all the operations we do? Okay. We want to see what is the first row, let us say. This is how you can extract the first row. A within the brackets is 2, 1. This gives me first column. Sorry. If I want to extract first row, this is row number, comma, is 2, which gives me first. If I want to extract any element, you can straight away extract with its position. That's the first row, second column is 2. Okay. And there are other operations. What are the other operations? You can find inverse of a matrix. This is simply inverse of A. So I can go on and on and on with the operations. So it will straight away give the inverse. You see this warning. You see this warning before calculating the inverse. The singularity is checked. The determinant is checked. If the determinant is non-zero, then only it is calculated, right? So here badly scaled, so meaning the determinant is close to 0. So that's why this warning has come. Okay. So one more thing I would like to tell you here is, please remember the inverse I have calculated now. Now I will ask this question to you. The inverse that it displayed, will it be same as the inverse that you calculate on paper? Maybe in 10th standard or +1, +2, you might have learned to calculate inverse of a matrix. Okay, you got a value. Now MATLAB calculated it. Will both be same or not? Shiva? Shiva is saying yes or no. You can put it in chat box. Will they be same or different?
Shiva, if you want, you can unmute yourself.
Different. Oh, different. Yes. Jay, Harish is saying it's different. Good. Can you tell me why they are different? They are different because there is a limitation in the memory to store one, let's say 1/3. 1 is, let's say 3 into inverse of 3. On paper is 1. In computer or MATLAB, it is 0.999 because 1/3 is stored as 0.333. The memory limitation, if it is 4 decimals, then if you check it, they are not matching, right? So you should also understand the memory constraint. Because of memory constraint, it may not be exactly inverse. Okay. So that is about the inverse. Okay. Likewise, you can what and all transpose. Okay, transpose is A dash. That's it. Okay, transpose. This is transpose of the matrix. And what else? Multiplication. Matrix multiplication. Okay, A star A transpose. So this gives me multiplication of two matrices. And what else? Element by element multiplication. This is another important thing. Especially this is useful in signals. Or dot product. You will understand this way. Dot product of a, let us say 1i, 2j, 3k. This is A dot A is 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, or element by element multiplication. That is A dot star. That is A dot star. A dot star A transpose. Okay. You see this? This is element by element multiplication. This is useful in vectors. You see this? In MATLAB, you can work with vectors, signals, images, video. Later, you will realize the operations like, okay, morphing. You know morphing. Okay, changing the background. Zoom has an option to change the background. Okay. There you will wonder, just literal matrix operation will do it. People design all the graphic softwares using what? The same matrix principle. In future, you may come up with a different software. You know what is the preliminary requirements to design such software is a matrices. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? So this is transpose, and then there is something called what is the operations? You tell me. You can ask me any operation that you want. What are the other operations? Transpose and okay, diagonal. Let us look at the different matrices. Diagonal matrix. What do you diagonal matrix is? If I say diagonal of Okay, 1, 2, 3. You see what it displays. Sorry, DIAC. Too many. Wait. Diagonal of A. Wait. Diagonal of the matrix A. This is to display the diagonal elements. What are the diagonal elements? 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6 are the diagonal elements. And what else? How do you define unity matrix? Okay, or identity matrix. Or if I want to generate, let's say ONES of 1, 10, let us say. This gives me a row matrix of 1. And let us say, if you want to generate uniformly increasing element matrix, let us say 1:10. I simply type 1:10. What it displays, it generates a row matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so likewise, you can also create set an increment 1:2, 2:10. It creates a matrix which starts with 1, and every element is an increment by 2. The next element is increment by 2. So this is very useful. This is in generating axis, coordinate axis. Okay, for example, since I'm saying coordinate axis, I'd like to introduce plots here. Okay, for example, there is one row matrix, which is, let us say, question. Okay, one's function. Okay, not only this one's function is to create a row matrix of ones. Later you will realize you will use this to generate a constant signal. Okay, for example, okay, now okay, since you asked this question, okay, I am creating one matrix U, which is simply ones 1 to 10. Okay, and another matrix, I would call it as time P, which is 1 to 10. Now, if I have to plot, let's say plot E or unity, T on x-axis, unity on y-axis. You see this? There is a figure that is opened, which shows that unity matrix or the function is same for all 10 seconds, I would say. Okay, if this can also be plotted using other function called stem. Stem, you will get to know the difference. It is for discrete. Okay, for the first years, it may not be clear what it means by discrete. For second years, third years, it's a instant and instance, different time instance. Okay, if I plot t comma, let's say u. Okay, you see this. So 1 to 10, which is t on x-axis, and on y-axis it is constant. Okay, this is also called sampled version of the previous graph. Okay, if you're 30 or secondary, if you learn sampling, then this is how it is useful. So once you can this is later you will realize to use it is used for generating different signals. Okay, and right. So if you are using too many, the whole of command window, to clear the command window, you can use this command CLC. If I type CLC, the total the whole command window will be cleared. If you want to clear any variable, let us say clear all. If I put clear all, see what happens. Recognized. Did you mean clear all? In the all the variables, all the memory used till now will be erased. If you have to write, let's say, big program in MATLAB, this is the disadvantage I would like to tell you here. You write the same program in C, in MATLAB takes more time for execution, because I told you all the header files are already included. There is much of unused included files, unused variables. So at times, what I have done, or what many people do, they will clear the unnecessary variables. Let's say first for half of the program, you use a variable, and then later it is not at all used, you will clear it. You will use the same space for the next variable. That's how you can reduce the let's say memory usage in MATLAB. So clear is the command for which you may be thinking that how am I just simply going one by one comment. I'll tell you the secret. MATLAB, you can learn best by using help. Of course, any software you will learn by using help, but in MATLAB, just see, for suppose you have, wait, slow. Okay, I have cleared the window. Now, somehow I have one keyword to invert, so that is inverse. Okay, if I type help inv this much, enter, you see what comes. There is the function which approximately matches with your word that you've typed. Okay, and with an example. Okay, documentation for INV. This is how I've learned. In fact, this is how you're supposed to learn. The reason I told you, you have 1 week of MATLAB session, it's of no use as long as you learn to use help. Okay, learn to that whatever needed for your program, you're supposed to learn. Anyway, later you will. So that is your displaying a matrix, so row matrix. And what is, tell me, what are the other operations? You know, we know something called transpose is over, matrix multiplication is over, inverse is over. Addition, subtraction is also straightforward. If the matrices are same order, I'll just clear this. Adjacent. Oh, adjoint matrix. It's not adjacent, adjoint matrix. Is there adjacent? You're asking adjoint. Okay, we know. Since you asked, for calculating the determinant, we need adjoint of a matrix, right? So that can also be adjoint and determinant of a matrix. That can also be directly calculated. Okay, let us take this example. A is equal to same 1, 2, 3. Next is 6, 4. Comes 9. This is matrix A. Now, if I have to find out the determinant of A, this is the determinant. Now, you know, inverse is Okay, 1 by determinant into adjoint. So adjoint, if you want to calculate, you can multiply the determinant with the inverse. So determinant, which is minus 63, that way you can calculate. Minus 63 into inverse, that gives you determinant, the adjoint matrix. You can, this is adjoint of A, right? Likewise, you can, one thing, the data type. Okay, if you know, see, you understand this type data type used in MATLAB is complex, not only real. Okay, I can also define a complex matrix. For example, okay, 1 plus there is a matrix 1 plus 2j. It is not I here. Complex root of minus 1 is j here. So 1 plus 2j. Okay, 1 minus 2j. Like this. Oh. You see this? J for I. The matrices can also be complex. The reason in signals that we deal in the next session, there is something called phase, meaning sine wave, cosine wave, both appear to be same in shape, but they differ by a phase of 90. You all know it. You must be knowing it. So how this is given, this is represented. J indicates your phase. J is e power j pi by 2. If you know a little bit of complex numbers, how they can be represented with argument and angle. So there you need the complex also. So maybe in the next session, the second half of the session, we will take one example and let you be clear about it. So first, know that the data type is complex. Okay, right. So this is one example. This is complex. And so plotting is done, matrix operations, the element by element multiplication is done. And the matrices does not mean two-dimensional matrices. It can also be three-dimensional matrices. Three-dimensional matrices, the best example is image. Okay, so image, for your information, it is like this. Okay, if it is image, there is one matrix for R. Okay, another matrix for okay, I'm using a different color here, but red, green, and blue. Okay, green I will draw. Okay, green. So there is one matrix which stores the green intensity values, one matrix which stores red, another for blue. So this is three-dimensional matrix. Likewise, if you take video can be considered as, let's say this is X, okay, this is Y. The third axis would be time. Okay, you must be knowing there are 24 frames per second in a video. Then only then the video appeared to be a continuous change of appearance or visuals. Otherwise, it appeared to be broken or stuck, as if you are stuck watching a stuck video. 24 frames. So in 1 second duration of video, there are 24 matrices. Not even 24. If it is a color video, 24 into 3. Okay, if you see this, there are, okay, this is the first frame. Okay, I just draw with a different color. Let us say this is the first frame, and this is the second frame. Okay, and then the third frame. Each frame is again 3 matrices of RGB. Meaning total video, how you can store it in MATLAB. MATLAB just consider it as matrices, all matrix. Okay. So that is if it is speech, I was giving this example. If it is speech, then all your row matrix, each speech signal is stored as a sampled, let us say, sampled row matrix. Let's say this is 30. If I take 30 milliseconds duration of speech, okay, it is stored as literal row matrix on your computer. Even MATLAB, when you there is an option to read whatever I'm speaking, I can record it. There's something called wave read. Okay, so there you can store how it is stored as a row matrix, and many other operations like convolution, okay, element by element multiplication. You will understand they have lot more applications when you operate with speech, image, video. Okay, so you have any questions to ask? You have any questions to ask? Right. How many of you are there? Okay. So one thing I'm telling you here, if at all you feel like, boring, I'm sure there is no such thing called boring in MATLAB. There are many interesting things to talk about. So I'll just shift the content, or I'll change the plan if at all you want to talk to me, uh, give emphasis on some other things. Okay, even though it is the first session meant to be for matrices, I know many of you must already be, using MATLAB. If you are not, sir, will this class be conducted every Saturday? No, I think so. This is a planned event. Anyway, all these things are covered in your digital signal processing laboratory also. But this session is slightly different, that you can ask any questions out of the box if at all you want to. Okay, you need not confine to the syllabus. Okay, that is what.
Please feel free to be unmuted and speak.
Yeah. Yeah, if you are in our department, at any time you can come to me and ask. Because they are available. Okay, that is your basic way to store a matrix, elements in the matrix, and extracting a row and column in a matrix, transpose. These are the basic operations, and checking for properties or determinant. So this much is needed when you go to transforms. Okay. Linear transforms of matrix. What do you mean by transform? Okay, I'll end up with this. So transforms means, for example, a matrix A is there. Okay. I belong to Visakhapatnam. Okay, the transforms, for example, the matrix A, let's say this is not only me, any faculty can teach this. Okay, you may not think that okay, this is completely out of syllabus session. So most of the things are there in your DSP laboratory thing, but I'm giving you freedom here to ask a little more out of box questions. So let's say there is a matrix A. In practice, we encounter something called transformation, meaning multiplication. Mathematically, it is multiplication, but it helps you to understand data well. This you will be clear when you actually do some real-time project. For example, I'll give you my mini project example. We were doing face extraction project or skin extraction. I mean, in a photograph, if there are, let's say, 20 people, it's a group photograph, let us say. So our idea is to just extract faces. Facebook does it, right? Facebook tags people. Same thing. How does it do? It just identify regions, face regions. So there is a one journal where RGB values of pixel cannot differentiate face and non-face. For example, me, my face pixel, and in the background there is something called brown and yellow. RGB values cannot gives you strict differentiation or distinction. Rather, YCBCR, yellow and prominent blue, prominent red. These values can clearly distinguish face and non-face. So how do you get it? Okay, this matrix, let us say this matrix is a simple RGB values of 3 pixels. Each row is 1 pixel, let us say. So if I multiply this with certain column matrix, okay, A multiplied with no, A multiplied with, okay, I'm just writing a column matrix. Okay, I don't remember exact transformation matrix. So I4 and let's say 56. Okay. So this is next row. Oh, column. Wait. I should. Okay. So this gives me a transformation. Wait. A is the 1 pixel. 23, 24, 20, 56 are the values. Let us say. If I multiplied, okay, this is the values. A is the transformation matrix. Okay, this transformation matrix gives me another set of values. I'm calling it as, okay, let's say YCBCR. And this gives me, this may help me in classifying the data. Okay. This is only a little exaggeration of what you learn. Literally, you learn it as matrix multiplication, but in practice, they call it as transformation, linear transformation. What do you mean by this? Simply multiplying with a square 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, you have RGB. RGB is a, let's say, row vector 1 by 3. Okay, you're going to get 1 by 3 another vector. How do you get it? Simply by multiplying. In this, engineers call it as transformers. Okay, linear transformers. This is also another approach. Okay, so since it's already 11, we will break for 10 minutes, and in the next half, we will see some more details about how this is useful for image, video, or speech processing. Right. So we'll meet again at sharp 11:10.
Hey guys, don't leave the meeting right now. We have just a 10 minutes break. Meanwhile, I'll be putting the link for the alumni portal, and you can register yourself in the alumni portal of GITAM.
So coming to how do we manipulate matrices? How do you manipulate images? Okay, maybe do some morphological operation. People do watermarking and editing. Okay, so let us see how matrix is stored or image is stored, and how do we display images, and then we will see how other things work. Okay, so I'm clearing everything off. So let me just choose a nice photograph. Since right. So if I have to snip this, just wait. For example, I just pick up one pic. I'm just uploading this picture. Okay. So after uploading the picture, you will see, yeah, this is the image. This is the image in the current folder. So here, stop. Yeah, you can see this is current folder. Audio, video, any file that you want to operate on, you can first you need to store it in current folder. So from there you can access. For example, if I want to read this, I will read it as A is equal to
Sir, your screen is different screen is showed, sir.
Okay, I'll just share it again. Now is this fine?
Yes, sir.
So I will use this command im read. Im read. READ. Image read of. So I will write this file name. Okay, only one file. It's already it has automatically come. So now if I just enter without putting any semicolon, you see this what happens. Numbers, because it's a big matrix, not just one matrix, it is three matrices. Okay, I'll just clear screen first. Okay, still it is displaying. All these are RGB values or pixel values. Now I'll just clear the screen. It's taking time just to display all the numbers. Array. Okay. So it seems it is high resolution pic, so it's taking much time to just display numbers. So you please don't do it. I've done it. So it is. I've just taken a random picture. Okay, meanwhile, I'll just explain certain things. So it is there are commands for finding out the size of the matrix. Then, yeah, if less resolution, lesser the size of the matrix, and obviously less numbers. So this is big, I mean high resolution pic, so it is having more pixels. Okay, we call it as pixels in image processing language. So there you can perform all the operations like finding out the average, filtering operations, boosting operation. How many of you know that let's say in a TV screen, in a video, you change brightness, you change contrast, you change sharpness, because all of it are literally can be done in MATLAB. Okay, so we'll see how this is still going. Control L. This Control L will stop. Control password. Okay, let me know L. So how it is done? Let us say if you want to perform blurring. Blurring is averaging. There are backgrounds where there is let's say too much of noise, then you will simply average the number of pixels. Let us say this is a matrix. Okay, here you have sharp background. Okay, so let's say pixel values are 23. This is 180. Okay, 187. The reason I'm writing these numbers are referred to as gray level values. These are gray level values. So what do you mean by gray level? It is from 0 to 255. 255 is the maximum intensity. And like this, you have three colors, R, G, B. So if you take any of the matrices, the range of elements of the matrix will be 0 to 255. Okay, there are no negative values here. This is one thing for specific to images. There are no fractions, no complex numbers, only integers from 0 to 255. And if at all you want to convert into gray, I mean, averaging happens, and then you can convert a color image to black and white. It is taking still. Array. Control mask break. Let me enter this.
So can we go on for a new page, sir?
New page.
Because it will show all the combinations of 3 digit numbers.
Yes, yes. Something called stop, clear comments, space. Yeah, just it is taking time. I'm just closing it again. Wait. 1 minute. Open MATLAB one. Okay, done. So meanwhile it opens. Okay, done. So now I am uploading this image. So please be careful when you're dealing with large files, image files. So you have to be little careful. Let's say I'm opening this, it is up, replace all. Okay, now I am using this command in read of, I should also assign a variable name. A is equal to image read. Okay, so there is only one file, so that I've selected. Please don't forget to put a semicolon, otherwise this is what happened just before will happen. So now let me check the size of it. Size of A. You see this 2,800 rows, 4200 columns, and 3 matrices. So that's why it took a lot of time to display. Now, if at all I want to see all 3 RGB separately, I can use this command image show. Image show. Image show. How do I pick up? Let us say A of it should have all rows. So I'm putting a column, comma, all columns, but only the first matrix. So let us see what does it display. So this is what it displays. It is only red component of the matrix. Okay, we will see the actual image first, and then we'll see show of A. If I type this is the actual image. Now let us check all 3 components. So the previous one is red. So this is comma. Let us check for green. Green means 2. This is the green component. It appears to be a little strange. There is no green, but these are green intensity values are shown here. Green intensity values are shown here. Let us check for blue. Blue is 3. This is the blue intensity values. Okay. Likewise, you can. So now let us see. Let us transform this. Okay, how do you transform this? RGB to YCBCR. So there is one straight command RGB to YCBCR. You see this, it's already there. I'm converting this into yellow, predominant blue, and predominant red. So if I do this of A, okay, let me name it as B. Another image B. So don't forget to put a semicolon. Okay. So let us see how B looks like. Show of see, this is how it looked like. Now coming back to the learning of chrominant blue and chrominant red are useful to identify phase. Let us check for those two. CBCR, right? So let us see B of all the pixels, all the rows and all the columns. That's why I'm putting a column. Which matrix do I want? Prominent blue and prominent red. So first let us see prominent blue 2. This is how it looks like. Okay, and let us check for prominent red. This is how it looks like. Okay. Okay, now let us look at something of your interest. So let us see how you can insert a watermark or insert a mix thing or morphology whatsoever. So if I take, let us say, another image, I'll take another image. I need to upload it. So let me download the GITAM emblem or GITAM emblem. We will add that to the image. Okay. So images. So I am adding this. I'm downloading this and I'm adding this. Okay, save image. Okay, let me add this to my image. So first, let me upload the GITAM emblem. Okay. And I'll read that also. Read that. Let us say C is in read of the name. It's already given. Now let us see how I can add them. So to add them, first both should be of same size. So what do I do is, let me find the size of C. It is only 219, 223. Okay. So what do? I will add, or I will replace A of, okay, 1 to 219, 1 to 220, comma 3 is equal to C. This is what? Oh, is this exactly clear? 219, 220. Wait. A of 1 to 219. Comma 1 to 220. And just rename it as some element D. So let us see first, is this possible or not? So this is possible. Now, okay. So what do? I will able to perform assigned because the size of left side is 290 by 220 and the size of right side is, oh, wait. This command, I'll change this a little. Yeah. Now you see this. If I display A, it will automatically be inserted with the GITAM emblem. Could you see this? What did I do? I've just replaced the pixels. This is what you exactly your Photoshop does, but it becomes, I mean, it is designed with such user friendliness on now. You can just drag and insert. But in the process of dragging and inserting, literal matrix operations are happening. Okay, if at all you want to debug it in the background, this is what you have to understand. Okay, likewise, you can insert watermarks. You can insert anything. What did I do? I have you just see this comment. A of 1 to 219, 1 to 220, and is to. Is to means all three frames RGB should be replaced by C. C is what? Your GITAM emblem. So likewise, you can also add it as a watermark. For example, I want to add it somewhere. Okay. Again, I'll read it. A is equal to the same image. Read. So this will be interesting when if you do it by yourself along with me, or if you're just listening to it. It's I don't know. Okay, I'm just reading the same image again. What is the image? Image is okay. Let's say the same. Take GMP. Okay, I've taken this. So I have restored A as it is. Now in show A. Now let us see how to insert it as a watermark. You know what is watermark? How many of you know watermark? So there is no GITAM emblem now. GITAM emblem now. So now I am going to insert it as a watermark. If I want to insert it as a watermark, you have to simply add it. You have to simply add it. So let us add it and see. So A of, you can just copy from the previous one. The same comment. Instead of replacing those pixels, if you add is equal to plus C. Okay, now I'll display. Or so in fact there are other measures to be taken. If the gray level value exceeds 255, it appears to be completely white, so we are not able to see it. But if you want to do watermarking, okay, watermarking, you can reduce the scale. For example, you can reduce this by since we are adding 2, you can reduce by 3. You can reduce by 3 and then see how you see there is a it is added like a watermark. It is not completely replaced. Okay, so you can spend your own time on this, doing all the exercise. This is how you can simply operate matrix to insert watermark, mix up images, do morphological operations, right? And same is the case with video. I guess if I start doing with video, it takes more time because it's online simulator. You can definitely work with it. And same is the case with speech. If it is speech, you can record it and you can, you know, gender identification. There are some projects where biometrics, you speak in front of computer, you will, the computer will be recognizing the person, gender, and also emotion classification. So there are certain transforms. If you apply it, recognize the emotion which is used in artificial intelligence. Same is the case with gesture recognition. Okay, then let's say now people are using surveillance cameras to detect, let us say, people, or if it is traffic surveillance, people use the same techniques to find people who are going over speed, wrong route. Okay, all sorts of things, or heavy vehicle detection. For example, in a small road, heavy vehicles are banned. Then so there is a methodology to identify the size of the vehicle, size of the movement. So how, let's say, for example, there are two frames. Let us say there are two frames. So one lorry is going here like this, okay, and one small bike is going here, let us say. So same video, the next frame, okay, next frame will be having the same two vehicles, okay. You can subtract these two frames, literally matrix subtraction. Matrix subtraction gives me, there is in the difference matrix, I'll be able to identify blobs. One blob identifying the heavy vehicle and another blob identifying the bike. So based on this blob, size of the blob, then you'll be able to identify heavy vehicle. Then you may get it to getting connected to the maybe alarm or whatsoever. Of course, that is the live project. Generally MATLAB takes huge time to compute live video processing. For offline or stored video, we do this, and once it works, we will use C language or open computer vision to do such projects. So overall, you should understand, if you start using MATLAB, okay, just understand how it is taking every data as a matrix. And if you understand few operations like which are very much matrix operations, then you can handle all image, video, speech. Well, and lastly, I'll wind up with few examples of signal generation, and I'll take questions if you have. Okay. So coming to the signal generation, so this is how image works. So there are, if you're let's say second year student or so, if you want to generate a sine wave, okay, first we will define one matrix for time axis. Let us say 0 to, I can put an increment, okay, 0.01 seconds to, let's say I want to generate 1 second duration, and I will define another signal x, let us say x as sine. I can straight away use the formula 2 star pi star. Frequency also you can, let's say 5 hertz, or let us say 20. Now if you plot it, plot t comma x, plot t comma x. You see this, the sine wave. Of course, you can change the frequency to make it clear. I can define another signal y, which has lesser frequency, let us say star pi star. Let us make it to 5. Only 5 cycles in 1 second. It will be clear. Now if I plot this, plot y, t comma y. So you will graphically see this, and other type of signals you can generate ramp, you can generate unit impulse signal. Okay, if I want to generate unit impulse signal, you can generate it, let us say u is equal to zeros, let us say 10 zeros, 1 comma 10, followed by only 1, and again zeros. 1, 10. Right. So if I display this, let us say plot only, I'm not including the time index here. I'm just only or better we use stem. Stem U. So this is impulse at 11, of course. You can also change the index here. Change the index. For example, I generate one for time axis, which is n index. What is this index? You should have minus 10 to minus 1, minus 10 to, let's say 10. N is minus 10 to 10. Now I can simply plot stem n comma u. Now you see this, it is minus 10 to 10, and at 0 it exactly there is an index. So likewise you can generate unit step, unit ramp. You can write different functions. I've written only sine. You can write quadratic functions. Okay, you can write exponential functions. You can write complex functions. If it is complex function, there is an you can find out the argument and all. So all of these things I can keep telling on and on and on. If you spend, let's say, 1 week of time, even you can speak like me. Okay, there is no big deal in learning these things. You can just use help, and then you can learn these things. As you do more, you will be acquainted with it. You will just literally play with it. So there are graphics also. You can plot 3-dimensional graphs. You can which are used in maybe communications and all. So anyway, you be in touch with the organizers if in case extension or any advanced communication related MATLAB requirements or tools, we will definitely do it. But as I was mentioning always, the more you explore yourself, then explore on your own, then you will enjoy it more. Okay, rather than somebody else is teaching. It's not just me, anyone else. They can teach 3 hours, 4 hours MATLAB workshop, but it's you can explore it better. Okay, so you have any questions?
Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and like ask any doubt. So
If you don't ask any questions, even I get bored, you get bored. So it's not like this. I don't learn anything by this. Of course, I'll learn because I'm doing it. I'm learning it. It's not because I'm teaching. I'm learning. I'm doing on the screen. I'm learning.
okay, okay, Harish, you can like type in the chat box if you have any question.
You can unmute.
Yeah, you can now unmute yourself.
Yes. Harish, yes, you can ask.
For the class, just really good. Sir, if it's possible, can I get your contact number?
Yeah, okay. Where are you from? Which section?
I'm from AAA.
You can. Okay, I'm writing contact number. Okay, done. So if you can also approach me, I'll be staying in room number 620. All the details Ayush and J they have. Okay, even you come to me, I'll repeat the same thing. There is no point. So you do some homework stuff from your side, and then it will be useful even you come to me.
Now the signal generation he'll be learning in the signals and systems, which is in the 3rd semester.
Yeah. Okay, if it is in the next semester, the whatever I binded up, that is going to be your first laboratory.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, but I personally feel before which you do some matrix operations, something fancy, maybe image and do, then you will feel like doing it, more, and that's what more important. Okay. Who else? Yeah, I will be in room number 623, ICT Bhavan. Okay. If no questions, then we can wind it up. Generally, I don't like to speak too much. I would prefer making you do something, but for some reason, this is it seems little unplanned for many. I guess many people join on mobile or so.
Sir, I have
Tell me.
sir, like we are using it for theory, sir, like MATLAB, but like if you want to use it in real life, sir, like can you give some examples?
Real life, we can only do to some extent. Only for testing purpose, MATLAB is used till now. Online, I'm not sure, because we have done a couple of projects, but let the example of unusual event detection in a traffic surveillance. We did it for offline, this one. If you want to do it online, there is something called open computer vision. Okay. There you will get everything what MATLAB offers, but it is extension of C. The compiler is like C, designed for image processing. There you have to include header file, whichever is needed. Unlike MATLAB includes everything by default, which takes a lot of time. So yeah, last time your seniors have done eyeball detection, eyeball tracking, this one, where they are able to, using Raspberry Pi and open computer vision, they're able to track the eyeball movement, and accordingly they scroll the PDF if at all you want to read PDF on screen. So you need to learn it. It's just programming part that differs. Algorithm part won't be changing, won't be different. Same matrix operation, edge detections, all the same. Yeah, you can do online using OpenCV.
So, sir, like MATLAB is all about matrices or like something else is also?
Yeah, only matrices, be it graph, be it 3D plot, be it image, speech, audio, video, or instrumental, or transform. Later semester, you will study frequency response, then encryption, all JPG compression, or JPG, MPEG compressions, everything literally matrix. Okay, so cryptography you can work with. Okay, multimedia security you can work with. Modulations, system modulations, every modulation you can study and simulate in MATLAB. So literally matrix. That is why the name itself is given MATLAB, Matrix Lab. So you should have, if you have thorough knowledge of matrices and their properties, you can do literally things, and you can understand well. Or the 4G technologies, you study OFDMA, the principle, it is the transformation. It is how compact it represents the information. We have increased the data rates like very high. It is matrix operation. So you should have a thorough reading about, thorough knowledge about it. Okay, thank you so much. It's also great learning. This is for the first time I'm giving such a session. So it is a good experience. My feedback is it could have been more interactive. So whenever you plan for the next time, you can inform the participant that prepare well to be interactive, and feel free to ask anything on face. It's okay. Because if I don't know, I'll honest enough to admit that I don't know, because this is something that you learn by experience. It's not that I am master pro at MATLAB. So it's okay. It's like, it should be like sharing session rather than just one-sided one. That is my feedback, and my learning, my experience was great. Thank you so much. And you should also take feedback from the participants, because in the beginning they are around 23, now 12. So if they're not participating, this is what can happen. Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Harsha, you can switch on your video even. So nice.
If anyone wants to share their experience, they can please. Yeah, Harish, you want to say something? You can unmute yourself and also spotlight you. People are only looking at my face. You can unmute yourself and you can share whatever you learn.
Sir, so like, could you tell me like how we are going to use MATLAB in the near future?
MATLAB in real time. What is your question? I didn't get your question.
Like in the near future, how we are going to use MATLAB?
Okay, let me make this point very clear. MATLAB is only for academic purpose, not for real-time experimentation. You may ask me, sir, then why should we study this? Okay, even in industry, I would say there are two types of people who work in R&D. Let's say there are few people who develop algorithm or methodology. There are other people around, let's say 90% of the people who develop or code. The 10% of the people who work on algorithms, they will use packages because they don't spend time in coding. Coding is separate work, and if you start coding in the modification of algorithms itself, lot of time goes to coding itself or debugging itself. So this is the benefit. I tell you, this is for study, not for real-time implementation. You may ask me, sir, then what is the point in learning this? You must learn this to go there. This is the first step, and maybe 10th step you end up coming with a product. So that's why students are being introduced and encouraged to practice it well, master well. Then when you develop algorithms, even not in near future, anytime. So this is a handy package. You can explore all problems in communication in signal processing. So once you are my MATLAB program is working well, then leave it. Okay, now come to the conclusion, my algorithm is working well. Okay, code the same, maybe using open computer vision or C++. Then that is ready for selling or ready for marketing also the product. That's how it works. Okay.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, for to say or Ayush.
Yes, sir. So before we end the session, I would request everyone to switch on their videos if possible. We'll take a picture.
Yeah, that is good. From next session onwards, we will do this in the beginning of the session.
Harish, no issues. Keep the video on.
Sir, I have taken a couple of pictures in this condition. So.
Okay, great. Okay then.
Someone is texting in personal. I can switch on my video. No issues.
Okay.
Let me switch on my video. Sorry.
Okay. A nice organization, the Directorate of External Relations.
So it was our first event, like we are conducting. The student coders are conducting.
Okay, good.
It was a nice experience, sir.
Yes,
nice explanation, sir. Like I just loved how you used matrices. Like I had no clue about like morphing being done with the MATLAB workshop. So that was really nice. Like I learned a new thing.
Okay.
Well, before we go on for the vote of thanks, we'll carry out a poll such that we can know your experiences. So, sir, can you please, Abhishek, sir? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please take part in this poll.
Sir,
Yes.
actually, a lot of students didn't know about this session because it was sent to their emails, and they probably didn't check it.
Oh, is
So
it?
that's the case.
Okay.
So if possible, when you conduct this session again, uh, like you can tell it a
Yeah.
few days before prior, so that we can tell it to the other students.
Harish, like, do you have any common WhatsApp group? And
Yeah, yes, sir, we have.
okay,
But it's only for triple E.
okay, no issues.
Okay, we can definitely have one more session, but I am sure whatever I covered in this session, it won't be another copy of the session. I'll just, frankly speaking, I just come to the session unprepared. The reason I just want to make it open for you. So whatever you ask, accordingly, I want to give the session. If I had to give the same session again, it will be different for sure. So I guess the recording is available. If it is
Oh, yeah.
to share, you can share the recording. But still, if you want another session, definitely I am ready to give. Okay, right.
Harish, don't worry. Gangadhar sir is going to take any of the like. I guess he's going to teach you a EDSC or some subject. Pakka.
Yes.
You'll love it. Just come to the ICT building. Like next semester, you're going to come to the ICT building, right?
Yes, sir.
So we are taking the poll, and if you have any feedback, just feel free to share. I'm sharing the official email ID of. Yeah, so this is the official email ID of DoER. Feel free to share anything, and if you want any workshop to be done or any feedback on this webinar which we have conducted. So with this, I'd like to move to the vote of thanks. So I think this is the end of the workshop. So thank you, sir, and all the participants for making this event successful. Also, I'd like to thank you, respected HOD ma'am. She's not there. She said that she will be here, but it's not possible. I'd also like to thank our DoER team, Arka sir, Naveen sir, and Abhishek sir, including all the student coordinators, Jay, Prasanna, and Anusha Di, for helping me and making this event successful. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Till now, we
Thank you,
can
sir.
disperse.